6 lucky numbers to win big and get rich on Sunday, May 11th, 2025. Buddhist teachings. Have you ever felt like the universe is quietly guiding you, offering a moment where luck, wisdom, and energy align? Not by chance, but through something deeper. 6 sacred numbers, grounded in Buddhist teachings, waiting to connect with the right person, maybe you. This Sunday, May 11th, 2025, a rare energy portal opens, and with it comes an opportunity, not just for material wealth, but for alignment with something greater. These numbers are more than digits. They are vibrations of abundance, chosen with intention. But this message isn't for the passive. It's for those ready to receive, act, and live with mindfulness. In Buddhism, true fortune begins inside, with clarity, generosity, and purpose. So take a breath and comment below, "I align with abundance. I am ready." Stay to the end for a powerful bonus number that might just complete your journey. Stay with me until the end, because I'll also be sharing one hidden bonus number, a number often overlooked, yet radiating an energy that could transform your path. If you feel something stirring within you right now, support this moment. Hit like, subscribe to the Journey of Wisdom. Let's begin. 1. Number 10. As we step into Sunday, May 11th, 2025, let's pause together and reflect on the deeper meaning behind something that might seem simple at first, the number 10. You see, in Buddhist philosophy, numbers aren't just mathematical tools. They carry energy, rhythm, and spiritual symbolism. The number 10, in particular, speaks to the end of one journey and the quiet beginning of another. It marks completion and readiness. And perhaps that's exactly where you are right now, standing on the threshold of something new, something long-awaited, something deeply aligned with your purpose. Think about your recent efforts. Have you been striving, sacrificing, quietly hoping for a breakthrough? Maybe you've carried burdens alone or held dreams close to your heart while the world seemed silent in return. But remember what the Buddha once said. Endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but it is to the one who endures that the final victory comes. The energy of 10 reminds you that none of your persistence has been in vain. Like the turning of the seasons or the blooming of a long-dormant tree, the rewards of your patience are beginning to emerge. This isn't about blind luck. It's about recognizing the right moment, one where action flows from clarity, not desperation. Ask yourself now, what part of my life is calling to be closed with gratitude? And what new opportunity is quietly asking me to be brave? Whether it's financial decisions, personal goals, or spiritual growth, this is a time to act with intention, not fear. Because when your spirit aligns with the cycles of truth, abundance follows, not always in the form of riches, but in peace, purpose, and yes, sometimes even material reward. As I speak to you now, I want you to feel not rushed, but empowered. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create, the Buddha taught. So instead of just wishing for 6 lucky numbers to change your life, ask, how can I become the person who is ready to receive all that is already seeking me? You are not just a seeker of luck. You are a creator of destiny, shaped by your choices, your kindness, and your wisdom. And maybe, just maybe, this Sunday is not a random day. It's your turning point. What are you ready to welcome next? 2. Number 3. Let's talk about a number that doesn't just sit quietly in the corner. It steps forward with a radiant energy, like a friend who shows up exactly when you need them. That number is 3. It isn't just a shape or a count. It's a force, a reminder, a living pulse that says you are more than you think you are. Think of the laughter that bubbles up out of nowhere, the soft glow of evening sunlight dancing on your floor, or that sudden burst of inspiration when an idea just clicks. That is the spirit of number 3. It brings a playful courage, a creative boldness that cuts through the noise of daily life and whispers, "Your voice matters, your dreams matter." And sometimes we forget that. We get so caught up in duties and distractions that we lose sight of our own inner fire. But this number, this sacred energy, wants to rekindle it. Spiritually, the number 3 holds a deep meaning. In Buddhism, it reflects the essential harmony between mind, body, and spirit, a balance we need to live in peace and purpose. And if you look deeper into the Eightfold Path, you'll find the same rhythm: right thought, right speech, and right action. When those 3 align, we don't just live, we awaken. Life becomes clearer, stronger, and more intentional. So why is this moment so important? Because right now the energy around us is ripe with possibility. It's a season of growth, of creativity, of becoming more fully you. The world is not asking you to become someone else. It's inviting you to become yourself, more vividly, more honestly. And no, you don't have to perform for anyone. Creativity isn't only about big gestures. It can be found in how you speak with kindness, how you respond with insight, how you live with heart. So I ask you, where in your life are you holding back your light? Where can you be a little bolder, a little truer, a little more alive? This is the perfect time to let the energy of 3 guide you, not for applause, but for alignment. As you walk through this doorway of opportunity, let your actions, your words, and your thoughts harmonize. And know this: when you live in that kind of truth, abundance doesn't just visit, it finds a home in you. The lesson here is simple but powerful. When you speak with honesty, think with clarity, and act with intention, you create a life that's not only lucky, but deeply meaningful. Let the energy of 3 remind you to return to that sacred balance, and from there, everything good can grow. What's one small, true expression of yourself you've been waiting to share with the world? 3. Number 18. On this Sunday, May 11th, 2025, let's take a deeper look at one of the 6 lucky numbers that carries more than just the hope of financial gain. It carries the gentle wisdom of change. That number is 18. It may seem like just a number on the surface, but beneath it lies a quiet strength, a spiritual signal that it's time to shift direction, especially if you've been feeling trapped in cycles of stress, money worries, or emotional weight. 18 doesn't knock loudly or shake things up in chaos. Instead, it arrives like a soft breeze after a long storm, inviting you to breathe easier and reconsider what you're holding on to. Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." And in that one truth lies the heart of this number's energy. So ask yourself gently, what habits, thoughts, or old wounds are you clinging to that no longer serve your path? This number calls on you to set those burdens down, not through struggle, but through surrender. Imagine you've been climbing a hill. dragging behind you the weight of past mistakes or outdated goals. Suddenly you realize you can simply let go. Doesn't that feel like freedom? In the Buddhist tradition, real transformation begins with release, not resistance. During this sacred window in May, 18 encourages us to make room, not just for money or luck, but for peace, clarity, and new beginnings. Sometimes, the breakthrough you're waiting for doesn't come from working harder, but from clearing space for life to flow again. Picture a field where no new flower can bloom unless the old weeds are gently pulled away. That's the power of 18. It reminds you that abundance is not something you chase, but something you allow when your hands are open. So, I ask you now, with sincerity, what are you ready to release? What dreams have been waiting in the background, quietly waiting for space to grow? The road to true wealth, inner and outer, begins with this letting go. As you move through this week, hold on to this simple truth from the Dhammapada. Let go of the past, let go of the future, let go of the present, and cross over to the farther shore of existence. Could this be the moment where everything changes? For you, not because of luck alone, but because you finally chose to trust in the deeper flow of life? If you've made it this far, you're already aligning yourself with the energy of abundance. Comment below with "lucky path" to affirm your connection to these 6 powerful numbers revealed through Buddhist insight. Don't miss what's ahead. There's still more wisdom waiting to guide you toward wealth and good fortune this Sunday, May 11th, 2025. Stay tuned until the end and step into your prosperous journey. 4. Number 37. Let us reflect today on the number 37. Not merely as a number, but as a sacred symbol that invites awakening and movement of the spirit. In Buddhist thought, 37 is not random. It points directly to the 37 factors of enlightenment, a powerful framework the Buddha shared to guide us toward liberation. This number carries the energy of deep personal growth, the kind that stirs quietly within us when life begins to feel too routine, too small for the fullness of our potential. Many of us, especially between the ages of 30 and 65, find ourselves in seasons where we feel like we are going through the motions, keeping up appearances, fulfilling roles, but sensing deep down that something vital is being left behind. That whisper you hear in those still moments, the gentle discomfort that shows up when you realize you've settled for okay, that's your inner self longing to awaken. In modern life, where busyness often drowns out introspection, these feelings are sacred signals, not problems to be ignored. As the energies of Sunday, May 11, 2025 begin to gather, you may already be noticing this quiet unrest growing stronger, nudging you to reassess what truly matters. Like the Buddha said, there is no fire like passion, no shark like hatred, no snare like folly, no torrent like craving. These inner fires, if seen clearly, become our fuel for change. The number 37 is not here to bring you instant fortune. It's here to align you with a richer kind of wealth, the wealth of inner clarity, freedom, and purpose. It reminds us that we were not born to simply exist, but to awaken. Take time now to ask yourself, in what area of your life have you been playing small out of fear or comfort? Don't dismiss the answer when it comes. Write it down. Own it. Transformation doesn't demand a master plan, only your willingness to take the next right step. As Zen Master Dogen wisely said, "A flower falls, even though we love it, and a weed grows even though we do not love it. Life is constantly changing. Our power lies in how we meet that change. So let 37 be your turning point. Not just a lucky number, but a sacred reminder that fortune favors the brave, and spiritual wealth begins the moment we stop running from our truth and begin walking toward it with open eyes and an honest heart. 5. Number 28. Let's take a moment to reflect on a number that quietly holds deep wisdom and power. 28. At first glance, it might just seem like another date on the calendar, but beneath its surface lies a meaningful energy. Steady, grounded, and full of quiet confidence. This number speaks to those who've been showing up every day, tending to their dreams like a gardener waters their plants, with faith that the bloom will come in time. The number 2 invites balance, connection, and the reminder that nothing meaningful is built in isolation. It symbolizes trust, harmony, and the unseen threads that tie our intentions, actions, and relationships together. Then comes 8, bold and strong, representing abundance, success, and the rewards that appear when our actions are rooted in purpose. Together, 28 is not just a symbol of luck, it is a powerful union of deep connection and material prosperity. It asks you directly, are you watering both your dreams and your relationships? Are you nurturing both your goals and your sense of belonging? As we move into May 2025, this number doesn't just suggest waiting for a lucky break. It signals a return on the quiet effort you've already been making. Maybe you've been working on something quietly, a new path, a shift in mindset, a small project growing roots under the surface. 28 is a gentle nudge that your dedication hasn't gone unnoticed by the universe. In the Buddhist tradition, we recognize that growth doesn't happen in a vacuum. The Sangha, the community, is one of the 3 jewels, reminding us that spiritual and worldly success flourishes most when shared. You were never meant to walk this path alone. So now is the time to reconnect. Reach out to those who inspire you, who walk beside you, who hold your vision gently in their hands. Collaboration isn't weakness, it's strength. Asking for help doesn't lessen your light, it multiplies it. As Thich Nhat Hanh reminded us, we are here to awaken from the illusion of our separateness. The number 28 awakens this exact truth. Abundance flows best when we flow together. So the teaching today is this: persistence pays off, but connection transforms. Let your work be steady, your heart be open, and your circle be strong. That is where true luck begins. How will you begin to build those bridges this week? 6. Number 34. This Sunday, May 11th, 2025, let's talk heart to heart about a number that might seem simple at first glance, but carries a quiet, powerful message just for you. The number 34. This isn't just about luck or superstition. It's not just a figure you might spot on a receipt or a license plate and brush off. No, the number 34 holds something deeper. It's like a whisper from the universe, reminding you that change isn't something you have to fear. It's something you can step into. It's a gentle nudge from life itself, saying, now is the time to stop waiting. Now is the time to begin. And if you've been stuck in hesitation, waiting for that perfect moment, ask yourself, what if the moment you've been waiting for is already here. In Buddhist teachings, we're reminded that all things are impermanent. Nothing stays the same forever, but instead of seeing this as loss, we can see it as potential. The number 34 speaks directly to this truth. It doesn't ask you to have all the answers. It simply asks you to take one honest step toward yourself. Have you noticed how often we postpone joy? We tell ourselves we'll start when we're more confident, when we're more ready, when everything is just right. But here's a little truth from my own journey. That day never comes, not unless you choose it. And 34 is the number that asks you to choose, not recklessly, but courageously. When you see 34 appear again, on your phone, your bill, even the number of messages in your inbox, pause for a moment. Don't dismiss it. Let it be a reminder that your life is already unfolding right now. Are you awake to it? Are you willing to move with it, rather than wait for everything to feel certain? Because when you do, something beautiful happens. You stop forcing, and you start flowing. You stop performing, and you begin living. That's what Buddhist wisdom encourages, not perfection, but presence. And 34 carries this playful, steady joy that says, "Go on, begin." So what would it look like for you to trust that nudge? Could it mean starting a passion project, speaking your truth, or simply allowing yourself to feel joy without guilt? I invite you to notice where this number meets you in your week, and instead of brushing it off, welcome it. Let it be your sign to live with more boldness, more authenticity, and more heart. Because sometimes the luck we're chasing is simply waiting for us to say yes to our own lives. Thank you for being with us today as we explore these 6 lucky numbers and their connection to Buddhist wisdom. I truly appreciate your presence on this path. Whether you're here seeking insight, fortune, or just a little guidance, your energy adds something meaningful to our shared journey. Feel free to share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. If you're new here, simply type, "I am a seeker." If you've been walking this journey with us for a while, say, "I walk with wisdom." Your words inspire us and help keep this peaceful space alive. Let's continue walking this path of insight and possibility together. Develop clear mind, panna, to make right financial decisions. In Buddhist teachings, clear mind, often translated as wisdom or clear seeing, is one of the most vital qualities we can develop, especially in the area of money and material life. Why? Because so many of our financial decisions are not based on clarity, but on fear, craving, or confusion. Think for a moment. Have you ever bought something out of impulse, made an investment based on hype, or avoided a financial responsibility because it felt overwhelming? These are not signs of failure. They are signs of a mind clouded by moha, delusion, loha, greed, or dosa, aversion. And that's where clear mind becomes a guiding light. A clear mind is not just about intelligence or knowledge. It is about seeing reality as it is, without distortion, without emotional fog, and without the pressure of ego. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything." So, if our financial lives are full of stress or imbalance, the first place to look is not the bank account, but the mind. How do we cultivate clear mind in our financial lives? Number 1. Pause before you act. In the fast-paced world we live in today, Financial choices often feel urgent. A sale that ends at midnight, a tempting investment tip from a friend, or the sudden pressure to upgrade our lifestyle. But before you act, pause. This is the first doorway to wisdom. When a financial decision arises, whether it's about spending on something we desire, saving for the future, or deciding where to invest our hard-earned money, just take a breath. Not just any breath, but a conscious one. A breath that brings you back to the present moment. This small act may seem insignificant, but it's the very foundation of mindful living. As the Buddha taught, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. A clear mind does not rush, it reflects. That pause creates a sacred space between impulse and action, and within that space lives our clearest insight. We may not notice it right away, but when we learn to step back, we begin to see whether our decisions are being driven by wisdom or by worry, whether we're reacting out of fear, desire, or insecurity. Let us consider this carefully. How many purchases or financial choices in our life were made simply because we were anxious or felt we lacked something? And how many times did those decisions bring more stress than satisfaction? Pausing before acting doesn't mean indecision. It means choosing wisely from a place of stability. This is what clear mind teaches us, not the gathering of knowledge, but the development of inner clarity, the kind that leads to good judgment. In Buddhist thought, the wise person is not the one who knows everything, but the one who sees things clearly and acts without confusion. That's the kind of mind we need when dealing with money, not clouded by greed or fear, but guided by calm discernment. In today's society where financial stress is a common burden, cultivating this kind of mental clarity is not just a spiritual practice, it is a practical necessity. For example, before you click buy or sign up for a loan, ask yourself, am I choosing this from a place of inner peace or emotional reaction? That one question, asked with sincerity, can prevent countless regrets. Similarly, when you're about to invest in something, whether it's a stock, a business, or even a relationship, give yourself time to detach from the noise of the world and listen to your inner wisdom. The pause is not empty, it's full of potential. Just like a pond becomes clear when the waters settle, our minds become wise when we let the agitation subside. Financial well-being is deeply tied to mental clarity. A person may earn a great deal, but if their mind is restless, constantly chasing more, they will never feel secure. On the other hand, a person with clear mind knows contentment, acts deliberately, and builds lasting wealth. Not only material but spiritual. Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully said, "Smile, breathe, and go slowly." This is not just a poetic phrase, it's a real strategy for navigating the financial chaos of modern life. When we slow down and breathe, we create room for true understanding, and from that place, our actions become aligned with our deeper values. So, as you walk through the everyday choices of life, paying bills, making purchases, planning for retirement, let this be your mantra. Pause, breathe, reflect, then act. Do not underestimate the power of a clear mind. It is the sharpest tool in building a life of both prosperity and peace. And in every moment you choose to act from clarity rather than compulsion, you are walking the path of wisdom, and in doing so, creating harmony not just in your finances, but in your entire life. Number 2. Understand cause and effect. Let's talk heart to heart about one of the most important principles in both Buddhism and in making wise financial decisions: understanding cause and effect. In Buddhism, this is known as paticca samuppada, or dependent origination, which means that everything arises based on conditions. Nothing happens randomly. Every financial decision you make today sets off a chain of reactions, shaping your future in ways you might not even see yet. This is where Kala, or clear wisdom, becomes your inner guide. It's not about being clever with numbers or manipulating situations for gain. It's about having a clear, steady mind that can see beyond the short-term rewards and recognize the deeper consequences of your actions. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to spend, invest, or give rooted in wisdom or in momentary craving? We live in a world that often encourages quick spending for fast satisfaction. Buy now, worry later. But if we pause, even for a moment, and ask simple but powerful questions, our choices start to shift. Before you spend, ask yourself, will this bring peace or more craving? This question is like a mirror, showing you the true nature of your desire. Is it born out of anxiety, boredom, or the need to impress others? Or does it come from a place of clarity, need, and purpose? Then go deeper. Will this serve just me or the whole? In other words, is this decision only for temporary personal pleasure, or can it also support your family, your community, or even your future self? Buddha's teaching gently reminds us, nothing we do is isolated. Like planting a seed in the soil, every action, especially financial ones, will bear fruit. That fruit might be stress, debt, and regret, or it might be stability, generosity, and joy. If we understand this, we become more responsible, not just with our money, but with our energy, our time, and our intentions. Money itself is not the problem. Desire itself is not the enemy. The issue is when we move blindly, without understanding the deeper cause behind our choices, and without seeing the effects those choices create. This wisdom is not just for monks or philosophers, it's for you right now. Whether you're saving for a future goal, deciding whether to take on a loan, or choosing how much to spend on something you want, the principle is the same. Are you planting seeds of peace or seeds of suffering? Are you building a life that flows with contentment or one that constantly hungers for more? By cultivating clear mind, you give yourself the gift of clear seeing, beyond the surface, beyond the price tag, into the heart of what truly matters. So, take a breath and reflect. What is the true cost of my financial decision, not just in dollars but in peace of mind? What am I really feeding? Wisdom or craving? These reflections don't make you weak, they make you strong. They make you awake. And when you're awake, even the smallest decision can become a step on the path of freedom. Number 3, simplify desires. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like no matter how much money you earn, it never feels like enough? Like there's always something else you want to buy, some upgrade to chase, or a lifestyle you're trying to catch up with? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. In today's world where we are constantly being told we need more to be happy, it's easy to fall into a cycle of endless wanting. But the teachings of the Buddha invite us to look deeper, to see clearly, and to understand that one of the biggest obstacles to financial peace is not what we lack, but what we constantly crave. That's why today I want to explore with you how developing a clear mind can help us make better, more mindful financial decisions, starting by simplifying our desires. You see, when our minds are clouded by greed or comparison, it's almost impossible to make wise choices. We end up buying things we don't need, living beyond our means, or chasing after status instead of stability. But the Buddha taught, there is no fire like passion, no shark like hatred, no snare like folly, and no torrent like craving. When craving takes hold, we become its servant, we lose clarity, we confuse wants for needs, and slowly we start measuring our worth by what we own rather than who we are. Now imagine, not in some fantasy sense, but honestly, what it would feel like to live with a sense of enough. What if, instead of always reaching outward, we learn to appreciate what we already have? That's not settling, that's awakening. A clear mind sees that contentment is not poverty, it's power. It's the foundation of true wealth. And when we begin to simplify our desires, we don't live with less joy, we live with less burden. There's more space for peace, for freedom, and for gratitude. Let's go even deeper. Why do we want what we want? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself that? Is it because we genuinely need something, or because we're trying to fill an emotional gap? Often, money becomes a substitute for inner security or even love. But the Dhammapada says, health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. That quote has always stayed with me. It reminds us that the richest people are not those who have the most, but those who need the least. In fact, in Buddhist practice, monks and nuns renounce possessions not out of deprivation, but to sharpen clarity and cultivate freedom. So how does this relate to your everyday life, your budget, your career choices, your spending habits? Well, when your mind is clear, you start to make decisions based on wisdom, not impulse. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, will this bring real value to my life? And in that small shift, everything begins to change. Clarity isn't just about seeing your bank statement, it's about seeing your motivations, your patterns, your fears. And once you see them, you're no longer trapped by them. So, I ask you today, in your own financial life, where can you simplify? Where can you let go of the unnecessary? And most importantly, what does enough look like for you? There's no universal answer, but when we bring awareness and wisdom into our relationship with money, we find that abundance isn't about having more, it's about needing less and living with intention. That is the gift of clear mind. A mind that sees clearly, chooses wisely, and rests peacefully. Still with us? That means you're serious about building not just wealth but peace of mind. Drop, I choose clarity over confusion. I choose wisdom over worry in the comments to affirm your path toward mindful success. Keep watching. There's more ahead to help you align your thoughts, actions, and finances in harmony. Number 4. Listen deeply. Decide mindfully. In today's fast-moving world, where decisions about money, careers, and commitments often come with pressure and noise from every direction, the value of a clear mind cannot be overstated. Whether you're considering a new job, entering a business partnership, or even making what seems like a small purchase, clarity is essential. But clarity does not come from rushing. It comes from pausing, breathing, and truly listening, not just to external advice or the latest trend, but to the quiet, steady voice within. This kind of listening means tuning into your intuition, examining your personal values, and considering what truly matters to you, not just what looks good on paper. You may find that this inner voice doesn't always speak loudly. It whispers, it nudges, and it often waits for silence. That's why creating space in your life, through meditation, a mindful walk, or just time away from screens, can help you hear it more clearly. When we allow ourselves to slow down and reflect before making a decision, we start to notice whether we're being pulled by fear, desire, or pressure from others. Often, financial decisions are driven by emotional states, stress, urgency, envy, which cloud our judgment. But a clear mind does not react, it responds. It pauses to understand the full picture, to weigh the consequences, and to ask, is this in line with my values? Will this choice bring lasting peace or just momentary satisfaction? This is where mindfulness becomes more than a concept. It becomes a guiding compass. The teachings of the Buddha emphasize right intention and right action as essential steps on the Eightfold Path. And in modern life, this means aligning our decisions with what supports not just personal gain, but long-term well-being for ourselves and others. If you're considering a big purchase, ask yourself not only, can I afford this, but why do I want this? If you're weighing a new job offer, consider not only the salary, but whether the work aligns with your deeper purpose and whether it supports a balanced life. Mindful decisions often take longer to make, but they tend to bear richer, more peaceful outcomes. And if the fruits of your decision take time to appear, that's okay. Wisdom isn't rushed. It grows slowly, like a tree whose roots stretch deep before its branches rise. In fact, some of the most financially stable people are not necessarily the ones who make the most money, but those who consistently choose with awareness and patience. So let this be your practice. When faced with a choice, listen deeply. Listen to what your body is telling you, tight shoulders or a sense of ease. Listen to your thoughts. Are they grounded or scattered? Listen to your heart. Does this choice bring you closer to peace or pull you into more conflict? And finally, listen to life itself. Sometimes the answers are not immediate, but they become clear when we stop trying to force them. In this quiet clarity, right action becomes natural. The more you cultivate this habit, the more your financial life becomes not just a matter of numbers, but an expression of your inner harmony. After all, financial security is not just about wealth, it's about peace of mind. And that begins with mindful choices made from a clear heart. Are you giving yourself the space to choose wisely? Number 5. Generosity is wisdom in action. Let's talk about something that may surprise you when it comes to making wise financial choices. Generosity. In Buddhist teaching, generosity isn't just a moral act, it's wisdom in action. When your mind is clouded by fear or attachment, it's easy to view giving as a kind of loss. You might feel that if you give something away, you're left with less. But a clear mind sees things differently. A clear mind recognizes that true giving isn't about subtraction, it's about connection. When we give, especially with a sincere heart, we don't lose, we grow. Our heart becomes spacious, our mind becomes lighter, and we become less trapped by the grasping and worry that often cloud financial decisions. Think about this. Stinginess shrinks the heart, while generosity expands it. This is more than a poetic statement. It's a truth you can feel in your everyday life. Have you ever noticed how tightly we can hold on to money, thinking it will give us control or security? But what if clinging too hard actually blinds us? Generosity clears that fog. It doesn't mean being careless or giving beyond your means. It means choosing, with awareness, to offer something, time, money, energy, to help someone else, and in doing so, freeing yourself from the inner tension that often fuels poor financial choices. When you give freely, without expectation, you create a sense of inner abundance. You're telling your own mind, "I have enough." And that message changes how you make decisions, not out of fear, but out of clarity and confidence. So how can generosity help you make better financial decisions? Start by noticing your habits. Do you make choices based on scarcity or trust? Do you give only when it's easy, or are you willing to stretch your heart a little? Generosity isn't always about large gestures. It can be as simple as buying someone a coffee, donating to a cause that matters to you, or sharing your knowledge with someone in need. Each time you do this mindfully, you're practicing presence, and a present mind sees more clearly. That clarity helps you spend wisely, save with purpose, and invest in what truly matters. What's most powerful is that generosity isn't limited by wealth. Even when money is tight, the spirit of giving, kind words, thoughtful actions, simple offerings can bring the same clarity and joy. When you cultivate a generous mindset, you loosen the grip of greed, anxiety, and comparison. You begin to ask not just "what do I get?" but "what can I offer?" This shift opens the door to financial decisions that are not just smart, but soulful. You begin to live with intention, grounded in values rather than reactions. So let me ask you this. In your daily life, where is there room for just a little more generosity? What would change if you began to see giving not as a cost, but as a way to clear your mind and open your heart? The lesson here is simple but profound. Generosity is not just about helping others, it's about freeing yourself. A generous heart is a clear heart, and a clear heart makes wise choices. In the world of money, where fear often speaks the loudest, generosity becomes your quiet wisdom. So the next time you're faced with a financial decision, pause and ask, am I acting from fear or from clarity? That one moment of reflection may be the first step to transforming not just your finances, but your life. And there you have it. 6 powerful numbers and the deep wisdom behind them, guiding us not just toward luck, but toward clarity, peace, and mindful abundance. Remember, true wealth begins within. A calm mind, a generous heart, and choices rooted in purpose. If today's message spoke to you, take a moment now to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the Journey of Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a future video that could help shift your path. Until next time, stay present, stay kind, and may your Sunday be filled with insight and blessings.